Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. I.R. Anukasa. We are from Group 14 and we would like to present about slope failure in UKM Bayi. And I would like to introduce myself first of all. My name is Nur Anissa and these are my group members.
Nur Atika binti Samsullah,
Farisha binti Kamal Zamai,
Tan Ijah.
Okay, first of all, we want to present about what is slope failure. So I invite Atika to present what is slope failure.
Thank you, Anissa. As we know, the landslide is one of geophenomena which often happen whether innately or due to human activity. The landslide also is a main problem faced by several countries, especially on highland area and in area that has risk earthquake and volcano. Thank you.
Okay, we continue with the Farisha to tell you about objective.
Okay, thank you Anissa. Our first objective is to study the background of the slope failure in the National University of Malaysia. Second, to find out what are the factors of the slope failure happen in UKM. Third is to study the nature, type of the slopes and the method of stabilizing the existing. Fourth, to understand the relevance of the slope stabilizing methods in National University of Malaysia. Fifth, to investigate any preventive steps in order to minimize the slope failure happen in UKM. Sixth, to identify the specific responsibility and functions of management and community in order to minimize the problem of the slope failure. Next is the problem statement. Problem statement that occur when doing this investigate is slope failure are only based on soil type and background of soil, management level, and the role of responsibility of community against the slope failure that often occur, lack of natural soil retainer, the bad impact of the community in campus, how the factor affect to the slopes, and lastly finding the methods of prevention. That's all.
Continue with Tanija about scope study. What actually we study about this topic?
In UKM Bangi, there is a series of slope failure occur around the campus. Ibrahim reported that the slope failure that occur in UKM Bangi has related to three important points. One is the weakness of the slope engineering. The second is correction of groundwater excessively for long period of time. Thirdly, less preventative measurement against the slope. Okay. Ibrahim said that there are too many locations that the sunlight may occur. So we have to study the slope. We have to study to determine the reliability of slope failure.
Next is the factor affecting in the slope failure. For my point is poor water pressure, gradient and precipitation. Poor water pressure. When the slope failure happen in a normal condition, it has a moisture content and free water pressure that can help in strengthening the bond among the soil particles. When on the top of increasing the moisture content, rain also collects water, saturated the slopes and increasing the existing poor water pressure in the soil. But when the excess poor water pressure, it will cause the intergranular to reduce and the bond among the small particles become loose. For gradients, thickness only depend the types and strength of the sloping soil, especially its cohesion. There are two. It is high cohesion and less cohesive. High cohesion will lead to the gradient that can build to the steeper, but in less cohesive soil, the gradient will more gentle to balance the action of applied load and weight of the soil with the shear force of the soil parallel of the slope surface. For precipitation play a significant role in the initiation of landslide. Excess water in the system affect the stability in both directions. First direction, the increase in weight of the water can increase the load on the material in the system. Second, the pore pressure increase with decreasing strength of the material. The fourth factor is cutting slope. Cutting slope happen in high tide, wave and currents cut slopes and consolidate material. This usually occurs slowly but steadily, erosion process and undermine the stability of the slope. Cut slopes are common happen to construct buildings or passage of vehicles. Overstepping slopes can occur if used to add the lowlands near to the slopes. Next point, I will continue to teacher.
One of the factors affecting the slope failure is the removal of vegetation growing. The amount of the vegetation is proportional to the strength of the slope. Once the landslide is occur, the slope is able to hold the soil, so the soil will become very loose and very unstable. So the soil, the slope failure is easily to occur when rain heavily. Root is very important in hold the soil to and make it become more resistant. And secondly, another of my point is earth disaster. Earth disasters such as earthquakes, volcanic eruption. This earth disaster will trigger the sudden mass movement of soil. Earthquake will produce vibration and tension and increase the movement of the soil.
Okay, the other point of factor affecting slope failure is load. In load, force acting on the failure plan are the slope load and the applied load. If the movement of the soil mass occur due to the acting load of forces is more than shear strength of the soil, slope failure may occur. The next factor is geomorphology. In geomorphology, slide occurs at which one steep slope that has a total strength of the material is low. The next factor affecting slope failure is overloading of slope peak. If the load added further, it may cause of the overload and the slide may occur. I want to add one point of factor affecting slope failure is cohesion of soil. As we know, slope from cohesive soil is more stable because the slope has strong bounding force among the soil particles.
I'm focusing on 3 points of factors. First of all, geology, drainage, and type of soil particle. Geology, slope stability depends on geology, which is soil stratification, which is when a hill have 2 sides, and the other side have lower steepness, and this is higher steepness. The higher steepness have a possibility to have a failure than the lower steepness. Besides that, the geology include 3 things, which is soil mass and also chemical reaction and erosion of slope. Soil mass, which is disturbed by the temperature, blowing winds, surface runoff, and rainwater. Next is drainage. Drainage is important in order to prevent slope failure, because when rainwater too much drop onto the slope, so that the soil particle among bonding soil particle becomes loose because of the water. So that drainage is important to drain the water out of the soil. Next, the type of thickness and soil material. The type and thickness is important since the soil too thick or too small make the bonding between the soil particles loose or packed together. If loose, it tends to fail. If packed, it prevents from failure. Then